Hi there, it's Brian Skanderbeg with CEO of GFG Resources, and happy to be with you at the Denver Gold Forum today, virtually. And I'm going to introduce GFG Resources and our assets in Wyoming and in Timmins, Ontario. We set up GFG 3 years ago, and we set it up to be a district scale explorer. And I think in the 3 years since we've gone public, it's been a very compelling and interesting journey. We have a great team, great assets in world-class jurisdictions, and I believe we're being very aggressive in our strategy moving these assets forward. Today I'm going to talk to you about our most recent discovery in Timmins. I'm going to provide an update on the Rattlesnake Hills project in Wyoming, and I'm going to guide you on our strategy moving forward. To touch base on our share structure, we have 110 million shares outstanding with 5 million warrants at 27 cents. And at today's 20-cent share price, we would be around $22 million market cap. As of the end of 2019, we had $3.5 million in the bank. And if we look at it in the context of our recently announced financing, which we anticipate closing in 2 weeks, we will have approximately $7 million in the bank. A very strong and diverse institutional shareholder base comprised of top-tier, resource-focused investment funds. As I mentioned, we recently launched a financing and plan to close this financing in the next 2 weeks. It's been very well received by the market. It includes $1 million hard dollar, $4 million through a charity flow-through structure, and we plan to close that in the next 2 weeks. Significantly, we have added Alamos Gold as a strategic partner to GFG, and they will be entering into our shareholder base with a 9.9% interest and have a pro rata maintained option to going forward of any financing. We have a great team. This team consists of a number of executives from the former Claude Resources Group, particularly myself, Mark LePage, Rick Johnson, also strength in the technical aspects from Tim Brown and Rob Mackey, a board of directors that is seasoned, diverse, and successful. Chairman is Patrick Downey, CEO of Orezone. Board members include Steve DeYoung of Integra, Brian Booth, formerly of Lakeshore, and Arnold Klassen, currently of Kirkland Lake. We're focused, we're effective, we have a proven track record, and I think this is a very compelling and credible team. As we look at our two core assets, most importantly, and where our dollars are going, is into the ground in Timmins. And this is a world-class belt. We are surrounded by majors. We have 2 gold projects here, the Penn Gold Project and the Doré Gold Project, and together these comprise about 700 square kilometers. Our neighbors have established infrastructure and production fronts here, and they include Newmont, Alamos, Pan American, and IAMGOLD. And I believe that this belt is highly productive and prospective, and that is why GFG entered this belt 2 years ago with the Penn Gold Project. I'm going to talk extensively about what we are doing at the Penn Gold Project, and particularly at our new discovery at Nib, touching base on other targets we find quite compelling. And I will remind the audience that we are within 25 kilometers of Timmins. We are within infrastructure, and we are surrounded by majors. As we look at this project, this is the northerly of the 2 projects, the Penn Gold Project. As a reminder, Timmins is 25 kilometers down the road to several mills, and Borden is about 30 kilometers down the road, Newmont's one of main producing assets in the region. Particularly, I will flag Slaytrock and Nib and HGM as core areas where we're focused. We have put the belt together in terms of our structural understanding. We've drilled 12,000 meters over the last 2 years, and we have announced multiple significant and high-grade discoveries on this belt. This is productive, fertile, and I believe we are on to something very significant. Specifically, we have taken a measured and methodical and technical approach to exploring this belt. This consists of detailed structural analysis, modeling, understanding, targeting, layered with a very extensive till data set. And what I can tell you is that the till data set and sampling is telling us that this belt is fertile. Slate rock is a very extensive regional tail anomaly that was discovered by GFG and is in similar magnitude to what sits on Borden. The Jihan East area is of similar magnitude as well, and it's telling us there are relevant gold systems in this belt. As I said, we've drilled 12,000 meters in the last 2 years, and we've announced significant discoveries and high-grade intercepts from HGM, a discovery at Crawford, economic hits from Sewell, a screaming intercept and very high-grade intercept from Nib 2 weeks ago, which really did turn the trajectory of this company around. And I'm very excited also about the Slate Rock target. As we look into the detail of the Nib target, Nib is localized in the western contact of this ultramafic intrusion. It's a very high-grade discovery and is localized along a northeast-oriented structure at the intersection of Temiskaming-bearing structures with an ultramafic intrusion. This is a great structural setting. It has focused alteration. It has reactive lithologies. It is undercover, and there is much potential here. Significantly, the discovery we announced 2 weeks ago included 71 grams over 8.5 meters from an astounding 50 meters depth, very shallow. The system is open. Historically, GFG drilled 2 holes into this target, and one of those was quite interesting, returning visible gold instances downhole. We were encouraged by that. They were not high-grade intercepts, 2, 3, 4 gram, compensated out 1 gram over 7 meters, but it was the style of the system we liked. We drilled underneath that hole a 1.5 years later, and that was earlier in Q1 of this year, and we returned this high-grade intercept. The core to the intercept is 190 grams over 3.2 meters, and that is comprised of a number of samples that host visible gold in an extensive and sheeted vein system. The envelope to this mineralization is sulfidized and veined and also hosts significant gold mineralization. Significantly, the majority of the gold is in the wall rock to the veins. That is a good sign from a gold system characterization. And I find that the presence of the alteration chlorite, carbonate, and albite is very positive for this type of system. We plan to be aggressive in following it up. We plan to drill underneath it, testing the secondary and tertiary vein systems as well as we move to depth and exploring this system laterally. This is a very impressive gold intercept. It's shallow, it's new, it's undercover, and we are going to be aggressively following this up in the second half of this year. We announced this discovery 2 weeks ago, and this was on the basis of 2 drill holes of the holes we drilled in Q1. We have assays pending on 6 other holes, and 3 of those are from the HGM occurrence. And the HGM sits 20 kilometers east of Nib. It's along the Porcupine-Dester Fault Zone. It's at about 250 meters depth, and it's named for Hemlo Gold Mines, which were the discoverers of this. High-grade gold returned by GFG in 2019 included 1 to 2 ounce plus hits in multiple vein systems down plunge of the historic intercepts. We have holes pending from 3 holes at depth to this. We expect to publish these assays in the coming weeks to month, and we're very encouraged to be drilling directly beneath high-grade assays, which we think can start to outline another relevant system at HGM. Crawford is a target that sits along strike from HGM. We only have 2 holes into it, and we've already returned an economic intercept from 100 meters depth. It's along the Porcupine-Dester. It's tied to sheared and strained porphyry contacts. It has cyanides associated with it. We will be drilling further associated with this target. It's a compelling opportunity. And the third target I'm going to focus on, and the one that we drilled in the current program, is that Slate Rock. Slate Rock is 20 kilometers to the west of Nib. And it's an area that is largely undercover or under a lake. It is the largest and highest threshold and broadest till anomaly on the property. It has a very large intrusion-hosted gold system that is at least 3 kilometers in length based on our interpretation of the system. We did preliminary drilling in 2019, and we outlined a very broad alteration zone, intense albite, carbonate, silica alteration, gold up to 4 grams. And a very broad and interesting hosted shear system. We followed it up this year by drilling off the ice, and we have fence drilled the western extension of this target. We have assays pending. We also stepped out 1 kilometer to the east and drilled a hole underneath a very compelling segment of this target as well. So as you can see, we have assays pending on other compelling targets that to us exemplify the fertility of the belt. As a whole, GFG set out in 2020 to drill 7,000 meters to spend $2 million. We drilled half of this in Q1. We've already announced the discovery. We have encouraging looking intercepts from HGM and Slate Rock, and we plan to publish the results in the coming weeks to month. Based on the positive results from NIB, we have significantly expanded this program, and we intend to drill 12 to 15,000 meters in Q3 and Q4 and through Q1 of next year. With the closing of the financing and the welcoming of Alamos as a strategic shareholder, we are well financed to execute this program, and we are well financed to fund our G&A through all of 2021. So GFG is a well-funded vehicle to go back in here and aggressively follow up on what is a relevant discovery in very close proximity to Timmins. That is half of the GFG story. It is where our dollars have gone, but we also have 100% control of the Rattlesnake Hills Gold Project in Wyoming. This is a district scale alkaline gold system analogous to Cripple Creek and Wharf. It is in central Wyoming. It has 95,000 meters of historic drilling in it historically. It is the entire district under control of 135 square kilometers, and there is ample opportunity for both greenfield and brownfield growth of the systems. Up until 2 weeks ago, we had a great partnership with Newcrest, and we spent $5 million over the last 18 months exploring this system and drilled 5,000 meters. We did extensive geochemical, geophysical, and geological modeling of this system. And in the end, we were really compelled to drill a bulk tonnage target underneath the Northstock diatreme and underneath the oxide mineralization. And that's what we focused on extensively with Newcrest. We were focused on finding a tier 1 size system. We drilled holes up to 1,800 meters long, looking for 100 or 200 meters at 2+ grams in a system, an alkaline porphyry at depth. Now, we found that porphyry. We found more diatreme. The grades were relatively low. And in the end, Newcrest advised us they would depart from the joint venture 2 weeks ago. I'm very happy to say it was a great partnership. We maintain a very good relationship from Newcrest, and we're very encouraged to get back out here and to look at the opportunities that exist that may well not have fit Newcrest's size threshold, but they are very relevant in terms of the opportunity to grow both Northstock and Antelope Basin and to look for more oxide-hosted systems at depth or in the district. And the reality is there is an impressive gold system present here, and it is largely an oxide environment. There is ample opportunity. It is permitted, drill ready, and we have the belt under control. Historically, there are a large number of intercepts present here from very high grades, and we certainly feel we can grow these. Evolving Gold had a $200 million market cap on portions of our land position here. This is a valuable asset. It's expandable. There are drill-ready targets, and it is an alkaline gold belt. 1 kilometer in scale. Good potential to outline oxide resources and grow them. And I will remind the audience here that the last hole drilled by GFG had almost 100 meters at 0.8 grams per ton gold from 40 meters depth in oxide, followed by another 50 meters, followed by another 60 meters going to depth through transition phase and into sulfides. This was a step-out hole. This is part of the Northstock system, and it is a compelling aspect and target, and it reflects what the system has to offer. Overall, Rattlesnake Hills is a compelling belt of gold. It has extensive opportunity. It is the right style of system to yield significantly sized ore bodies. That's why Newcrest was there. We see good opportunity to go and drill some of these greenfield targets, to expand Northstock, to link it to Antelope Basin, to drill the western extension to the deposit here. We see good opportunity in this belt, and we will find the right structure. We've announced a strategic review to the asset, and we will be undertaking that in the next quarter. Overall, GFG is a compelling investment opportunity. District scale assets in world-class belts with technical team that has a track record of finding ore bodies, financing them, building them, and operating them as needed. We have a proven ability to finance, and we have now attracted Alamos as a strategic investor. We maximize dollars in the ground, and that's critical to finding ore bodies. Our G&A is about $1 million a year, and we are very effective at putting the dollars into the ground to make relevant new discoveries in Timmins and or in Rattlesnake. We are now fully funded for a catalyst-rich 2020, and I'm excited to have this opportunity to review GFG. Thank you very much for the opportunity.